welcome back to another exciting episode of Tackle Productions. Today, I'm back up joined again by Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
As we go over his winner deck profile from this past weekend locals, where he was playing Supreme Kai of Time. Like always, buttons down below if you're clicking there for a reason. And let's look at Jimmy's winner card.
Yes, sir. It's the only card I wanted. So I'm really hype on this. I am going to be building with this once I get my others in. So look for that on the channel. I think Bancroft is going to build something with this pretty soon. If you know Bancroft, it's
just chalked it to the side of the
tape. So I played Supreme Kai. This is a deck that I have been looking at for a long time now, and I'm kind of in a rut of like, I don't know what deck I want to play. Every time I start to build something, I decide that it's not good enough, and then I scrap it. But I kind of forced myself to finally build this because I've been wanting to play an Overwhelm deck. And the new God Trunk stuff really isn't interesting me on Untap. So I went back to her, played her. Auto, burst 3, draw a card. You awaken with 8 or more cards in your warp. You draw 2, take yourself down to 6, or for life. Most of the time, you're awakening early. Backside auto, when you Overwhelm, you draw 1 card, then put 3 cards from your drop area from your warp back into your drop area. You can activate main. You choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. In the video on the channel, I did forget to discard a card off of this, which honestly it would have helped me more than hindered me. But that is something to know. I completely forgot about the discard. And then the activate main, you place 1 card from your life in the drop area. Put 2 black battle cards into your from your warp into your drop area. Your cards with Overwhelm stick around. So it's just a Toki Toki City on your leader card, and it's kind of busted. Moving on.
Toki Toki City, what's that?
It's a really good field card that super underrated. So this card is just completely busted. When you Overwhelm, you can burst 1. If your leader card is a God or a Saiyan only card, you get Wormhole. +1, you move 2 black battle cards back to your warp, or from your warp to your drop area. I'm sorry, I'm going to fuck that up every single time. And your -3, you put 2 Overwhelm cards from your warp back into your hand. You're never really minusing on this. You're just plussing 1, getting that burst. Your opponent's probably going to swing into this because he's only a 9k. But with your leader, you can just keep playing him back out. Just remember to discard when you do it. But Wormhole is what makes this deck completely busted. And we'll get into our Overwhelms for Wormhole in a moment. 2 Time Patrol Goten. When I was building the deck, I kept reading this card going, it's really good, but I don't see a time where I'm ever going to spend 2 energy on it. I think if I were to play this deck again, I would go up to a 3 of on this guy. Because he does set up for your bigger Overwhelms late game. And he does some, decent draw power in the early game. Auto, when you Overwhelm, you draw 1 card and then put 3 cards from your warp back into your drop area. Fills the drop area. It's just another leader effect, but you can double up, triple up on these. Plus, if you're awakened, you're getting so much draw power, like it's kind of nutty. Into our Overwhelms. Kaya Time, Overwhelm 3, look at the top 3, add a battle card. You want cheap Overwhelms, since sometimes you can't get 6 in the drop area for your big guy, so you just want something to be able to put on the field. And then 3 Time Regulators, you draw 2, warp 1, not much to say about them. These are your ones that you're going to be playing and mulliganing for early game. Since we're running Overwhelm, we are going to run the Rebelu Secret Rare. Shout out to Jake. He hooked me up, gave me a good deal on the Rebelu. And this card is just absolutely fucking cracked. I don't know why more people aren't on this card. But it's double strike, Overwhelm, Dark Overwhelm 8 for 2. When you play her, you grab Overwhelm cards from your warp, play them, and then you can pop an Overwhelm card as a negate on your opponent's turn. So she is a massive body, puts so much pressure, and then also is defense. But we have a lot of Rebelu targets. These are also going to be played from their own skills, but these are the cards you're going to be grabbing with Rebelu most of the time. Feigned Greeting, opponent warps a card. You have Beyond All Limits, add a 3 or 7 back from your warp. 1 Trunks, he's double striker, he's going to add a card back to your hand. I could only find 1 of these. This is going to be a 2 of. I do have a Fu later in the list that's just going to replace or this guy's going to replace that foo. Because if you were to mill like your secret rare for whatever reason, you could just grab it back with Trunks. So where you couldn't grab it back with him because he limits 7. Double strike crit, clear the field, dual attacker. Then we run the Thwartings package, so he's a blocker that restands and draw a card at the end of the turn. You can also just play him for Overwhelm and then activate on your leader to keep him around to have the blocker, but most of the time this is one of your best Rebelu targets. One Vegeta, he's a critical body. He's going to be like a mini Thwarting. He's going to add up to 4 and warp them out. Not the best, but, you know, critical 30k is nothing to sneeze at. 4 Demigras. This card's just busted. It does everything that I just said on every of these other cards, but on one card. So you're obviously going to run him. 4 Thwarting the Dark Empires. They're cheap now. Go get them. Play them. They're really fun. I don't have to apologize anymore. And then 1 SS4 Bardock Combat Instincts. I've always loved this card. It's one of my favorite SPRs. Probably not the best for the deck, but I really, really enjoy it. He's a 30k dual attacker, and your opponent warps 2 on play. You don't get the warp 2 if you play him off of Rebelu, but a 30k dual attacker off of your 40k double striker is pretty good. And then especially if you just cast this guy for his Overwhelm, you get that discard and then you can keep him around with your leader, so a lot of value with him. For Super Combo Spread, 2 Vegetas because they're good, 2 Supreme Kais. I know I just said Vegeta's good, but I honestly like this Kai Secret Rare, or this Super Combo better, because if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, she's live, so pretty much turn 1 she's live in most cases. You know, you don't recognize how valuable a super combo from the get-go is until you forget and try to combo this one at 6 life, and then you look like a dummy. For negates, 2 Petrification, cards cracked. 3 Supreme Kais. It's a dual negate. You negate and then warp a card. This card's super underrated. Play it more. For counterplays, Super Kamehameha, it won me my last game tonight. Just counterplay a 3 or less, send it to the warp. Not much to say about it. Get rid of floodgates, get rid of your opponent's desperation plays. Really good. SS4 Thwarting, this card just should not exist. Warp 2 out of hand, warp 2 off the field, ignoring barrier. Restand, triple attack blocker, can't be KO'd in rest mode, only costs 4 energy. That's a little bit too much value for that energy, in my opinion. And then for the final cards, 1 Champa. Every deck I build has Champa in it. This guy's just going to become a Trunks once I get a hold of him. But this guy's like kind of neat in some situations because you can just pay 2 and pull a 7 or less back to your hand. This guy does have to be in your drop area, but since you cycle so many cards from the warp to the drop area, you really just target him every time and not worry about it. And then as a pretty much a secondary secret rare, Fu the Dark Banisher, triple attack, Overwhelm 8, 4 energy. If your opponent wants to activate a skill, they have to warp a card out of their hand. Kind of disgusting when you're able to keep this guy on field using your leader, and then your opponent is going to at least have to get 2 to 3 cards out of their hand to get this guy off field to have to stop warping cards. But that's about it. The deck is insanely fun. It's really strong. I'm glad I actually took the time to build it and not been lazy and played Whist again.
Well, hope you all enjoyed today's video. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen. Read your cards, know your place, and fluff out.